On a chilly autumn evening, the residents of Maple Street were jolted from their routines by a sound that could curdle blood, a child's cry echoing from the depths of the old Miller house. This house had been abandoned for years, its windows boarded up, and its paint peeling like the skin of a long-dead beast. Yet somehow, the cries persisted, growing louder and more desperate with each passing night. Curiosity and fear gripped the neighborhood, but no one dared to investigate, fearing what they might find. Until one night, a group of brave souls, led by the daring young Tom Mitchell, decided to uncover the source of the cries. Armed with flashlights and trembling courage, they entered the creaky front door, which groaned open like a warning. Inside, shadows danced across the walls, and the air was thick with an unexplainable chill. As they moved deeper into the house, the cries became more defined, leading them to the basement door. Tom turned the knob, and it swung open to reveal a dark void. Suddenly the cries stopped. In the oppressive silence, a sense of dread filled the room. Then, without warning, the door slammed shut behind them, plunging them into darkness. A voice, not of a child, but something ancient and malevolent, whispered, "Welcome home." In the quaint town of Willow Creek, the Johnson family found their dream home, an old Victorian with charm and history. However, it wasn't long before they realized they weren't alone. On their first night, as the house settled into silence, a low, rhythmic thud echoed from the basement. Dismissing it as old pipes, they ignored it. But each night, the sound grew louder, more insistent. Curiosity got the better of them, and one evening, Ben Johnson descended the creaky stairs, flashlight in hand. The basement was cold, the air thick with an unexplainable heaviness. In the dim light, he noticed a shadow that seemed to quiver on the far wall, though nothing in the room could cast it. As he approached, the shadow twisted, its form becoming almost human-like. Ben froze, heart pounding, as it began to move towards him, a silent scream forming on its featureless face. He stumbled back, racing upstairs, slamming the door behind him. That night, the family huddled together, the sound of the door handle rattling softly in the dark. By morning, they found scratches etched into the wood, spelling out words: "Leave or join me." They fled that day, abandoning their dream home, forever haunted by the shadow that lurked below. In the sleepy town of Eldridge, nestled among the dense forests of New England, a young girl named Lily cherished her stuffed rabbit, Mr. Thumper. It was a gift from her late grandmother, passed down through generations. One chilly autumn night, as the wind howled through the trees, Lily awoke to soft whispers emanating from the corner of her room. Her eyes darted to Mr. Thumper, sitting innocently on the shelf. The whispers grew louder, forming coherent words. "Lily," it called, in a voice eerily similar to her grandmother's. She froze, her heart pounding like a drum. "Help me," it pleaded, sending shivers down her spine. Terrified, she ran to her parents, but they dismissed her fears as a nightmare. Determined to uncover the truth, Lily returned to her room, clutching a flashlight. She approached Mr. Thumper, the whispers now a cacophony of desperate cries. With trembling hands, Lily turned the rabbit over. She noticed a small seam, hastily stitched. Curiosity overpowered her fear as she carefully unpicked the threads. Inside, she found a faded photograph of her grandmother and a note, written in her familiar handwriting. "I'm trapped." At that moment, the whispers ceased. The air grew still, and Lily felt an icy chill wrap around her. The realization dawned upon her. A part of her grandmother's spirit was bound to Mr. Thumper, longing for release. The stuffed rabbit fell silent, but its eyes seemed to follow her, forever watching. On a chilled autumn night, Sam and Lily found themselves lost deep within the sprawling woods of Maine. The moon was a mere sliver, offering little guidance. As they stumbled through the thick underbrush, a peculiar glow caught their attention. A lantern light bobbed gently in the distance, casting an eerie halo through the fog. Relieved but cautious, they followed its wavering path, hoping it would lead them back to safety. Yet, as they ventured closer, a cold dread crept into their bones. The light led them to a clearing where an ancient, crumbling homestead stood, its walls whispering tales of forgotten times. Curiosity piqued, they stepped inside, the air thick with decay. Suddenly, the lantern flickered and vanished, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled for their phones. Just then, a soft, echoing laughter resonated from the shadows. In terror, they realized they weren't alone. The walls seemed to close in, revealing ghostly figures trapped in eternal waltz. Lily screamed as spectral hands reached for her. The truth dawned. They were drawn by spirits seeking to ensnare new souls. In a final, desperate attempt, Sam lunged for the door, only to find it sealed shut. The lantern's light returned, now revealing the true horror. They were the latest additions to the forest's macabre dance. The woods swallowed their cries, leaving only silence.